Welcome back to Studio One. Now, our next guest is no stranger to talking in public. She's a well-known motivational speaker, awards host, and authority on dealing with stress.
Yeah, we're going to get a few tips now from her this evening. For anyone who's terrified by the very thought of public speaking, Carole Spiers joins us now. Thanks for being with us.
You're very welcome.
You haven't brought any contents.
No, I
or
didn't bring
like
cows
that,
with me today.
Nothing like that today.
No.
It's wonderful. The fear of public speaking. I'd rather die than get up in front of an audience. Is it the same as stage fright, or are they two very separate things?
They're very similar. I mean, I'd rather die than stand up in front of an audience is what many of my clients would say to me. And that's how they come, because they have to either speak in public, in an auditorium, or they have to present in a business, they have to deliver a proposal, they have to get money from the bank, or they just want to speak up with their friends and not sit quietly in the corner and nobody actually listens to them and nobody takes any notice of them. So there's all sorts of ways that you actually use presentation skills, public speaking skills in everyday life. It's not that everybody wants to be a motivational speaker, because not everybody does, but people do need to be able to speak, and it's an art and it can be taught.
At least many years ago, I think the skill of public speaking was greatly underestimated, especially when you watch movies like The King's Speech or The Iron Lady, which I watched in the flight on my way back to Dubai. It shows that to make a great leader, it's not just strong leadership qualities, determination, dedication. It is also strong public speaking skills, without the failure to do which can lead to embarrassing situations. Tell us about that.
One needs to be an orator in order to be listened to. So you look at some of the great orators of our time, the Winston Churchills, the Obamas. We're listening to their content, yes we are, but you're also listening to the way they actually present themselves and the way they're comfortable with a microphone and the way they're speaking to their audience, and it's high impact presentation that they're giving. It's the eye-to-eye contact. It's engaging with their audience, actually, so the audience can't take their eyes off you and just waiting for the very next moment you're going to say something. So it's the power of oratory. So if you're a leader and a leader in a business, then you truly do need to be able to lead and to empower and actually bring your people to you, and you do that by your voice.
Sir Richard Branson once said that he judges someone within the first 30 seconds of meeting him, and he keeps that judgment for the rest of his life. Very rarely changes his mind. How important are first impressions when it comes?
Very, very important. When you're going to a meeting, if you're going to be standing up on platform, how you dress, how you seem to be, the confidence inside of you, not overconfidence, not arrogance. It's very much having the feeling of actually you're in your comfort zone and you're enjoying what you're doing. Interesting you mentioned about Sir Richard Branson. Apparently he dislikes public speaking. He wants to sit in a situation like this, but actually hates standing up behind a microphone. So even when you get to the top of your profession, he's pretty well at the top of his profession.
He's done all right, hasn't he?
He's done okay. Hasn't he, boy, done good? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to love public speaking. So can it be taught? Yes, it can be. Will you love it? Not necessarily so. I personally love it, but not everybody does love the camera, not everybody likes the microphone, and not everybody loves the auditorium. So it can be taught, but for some people, because they have to do it, because it's a part of their profession, they have to take themselves way out of their comfort zones in order to do that. So they have to come back to the skills that they've been taught in order to get them up there.
Now, is this a skill, as you mentioned earlier, it's something that can be taught. So is this something that's advisable to be taught from a very young age?
Very much so. Speaking skills should be taught from knee-high all the way up. Because if you think about it, when you go throughout your life, you need those skills. Children need the skills. Teenagers need the skills. We need to get to the schools in order to actually get to the future leaders of the businesses. So therefore, that's where it starts. Debating societies should be inside the schools, because that's exactly the place where the children are. So get to them at a young age. Parents encourage the children to speak up for themselves. I'm not talking about being rude or aggressive, but actually have the capability to actually express themselves and to say something, and not to overrule them because they're a child. So it's really important. Start young is absolutely right.
Conviction and credibility are two of those virtues that you're talking about a lot here, but a lot of people will be preparing for a presentation tomorrow or something like that. Let's rather talk about the things they should be avoiding. What are some of the common mistakes you see when it comes to public speaking?
Ums and ahs, just don't do those. Prepare, prepare, prepare. If you think you can do something on the hoof, you actually can't. So it doesn't mean it might not work, shucks. It doesn't mean it might not work, but prepare. That has to be the key to everything. And it doesn't mean necessarily learn the script, but learn key words. If you actually have a planned script and you just go blank, you know, that's your stage fright, you freeze, think of a story. Think of something to say that would actually fill that space, because you know a story that's happened to you, something funny, humorous, or whatever that may well be, to get you back on track. But it's most important, the preparation. I can't say it enough. This doesn't just all happen. It really is. Get yourself together.
Yeah, yeah. And what about if you get heckled or tweeted halfway through?
Well, that is a challenge on that's a challenge on platform at the moment, because when I'm on platform sometimes you see everybody with their phones and they're tweeting you, and it's a bit like before you even get to the end of the presentation, they've tweeted you and you think to yourself, well, just wait till the end before you say rubbish or fantastic. So it's a bit like that's actually what a motivational speaker has to actually deal with, that, which is the heads looking down rather than the engagement. You try the engagement, you try and capture all of that, but then everybody's tweeting and doing things, and you just hope they're not bored. You really hope that them looking down is tweeting you saying great, fantastic, wonderful, rather than ha ha ha, that was rather a yawn.
It's like my drama teacher always told me, it's not how you start, it's how you finish as well. It's tweets at the end, isn't it?
And it's of course a good tip. So Tom, in case the autocue gets stuck, we'll just start off with our stories.
Okay.
Yeah? Right, Carole, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. And for more information, do log on to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Studio One Live.